Hey, if you're enjoying the content but haven't yet subscribed, take a minute to hit that subscribe button. Join us. Thank you. Oh yeah, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and my name is Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of this comic book industry that's in decline, and I'm helping manage its decline. World's most charming and disarming, elegant and eloquent, humble, though I fumble. Man, great big Star Wars fan, trusted member of the media, and it looks like Hollywood is giving us mixed signals today. Hollywood is offering us two different narratives, two, and it's our choice. I mean, we have to get together as a community, and decide exactly which of these narratives that we're going to be sharing with our families around the dinner table as we talk about social politics and social justice with our kids. We talk social justice with them as we're trying to feed them green beans at night. So these are our two choices right now. At this point, we've got Elizabeth Banks' story, and then we've also got Johnny Depp's story. Let's start with Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks wants Charlie's Angels reboot to send a message. Believe Wahmen. Believe him. Here she is right here. She's sending a message herself with those glasses, if you know what I mean. You know, yeah. Feminist SJW. Weirdo. All right, here we go. Let's dive right into this article and let's find out about this message that she wants to send. It's 2019. In 2019, we can't afford to not get political. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I think Marvel Comics is learning that they couldn't afford to get political. I think most comic book companies are discovering that wherever SJWs are. Did you watch my video about Lion Forge and Oni firing all their SJWs, all their purple-haired weirdos into the street? Yeah, they couldn't afford to get woke. You can't afford it. It's too expensive because it costs you everything to get woke. It costs you everything and you get nothing out of it. So we can't afford to not get political, and we probably shouldn't get political. And I hate to editorialize, but F these SJWs. F them. All right, so even with escapist entertainment. So this is Collider, by the way. Collider actually is a colluder. They collude with SJWs. They collude with SJWs to ruin your good time. You've had a hard day at work. You've been in the sawmill. Where do you work? You've been inhaling toxic fumes, doing something, working all day with your hands. You know, you get I don't know, you've been welding and you've got sparks in your face and your eyes, all over your genitals, and you come home and, you know, all you want to do is lay down and relax in front of something, just some kind of piece of entertainment, whether it's a comic book or a video game or a movie or a TV show, and you don't want to think about anything. You just want to turn your brain off and enjoy some escapism. Well, Collider won't let you. Collider and all of the people that it colludes with are not going to let you do that. You're going to sit there with scalded genitals, and you are going to listen to their SJW crap. They will not let you escape. There is nowhere that you can go. There is no such thing as escapist entertainment. Anywhere that you go, SJWs, mincing little soy boys, purple-haired, colorful weirdos like this with big, thick granny glasses are all there to tell you how wrong you are, to lecture you, call you sexist, bigot, homophobic, racist, Islamophobic, what else is there, transphobic. Yeah, you hate everything and you're afraid of everything, and they can't wait to tell you about it no matter where you go. You want to watch a movie about chicks, hot chicks with machine guns? You don't? Okay, well, don't worry about this one then. You know, but if you did want to watch a hot movie with machine guns, then oh, yeah, not really hot. No. Well, in any case, if you wanted to watch a Charlie's Angels reboot by Elizabeth Banks, and you wanted it to not have SJW nonsense in it, feminist lecturing, hectoring, henpecking, then you're out of luck, because these people cannot wait to henpeck you. They can't wait. All right, so even though Elizabeth Banks, who's decided that her Charlie's Angels reboot is a high-stakes, globe-trotting spy thriller comedy, she still made sure to send a message. She just wants to tell you some stuff. You got to pay for this woman to tell you stuff. She wants your $20 so she could tell you what's what. That's the state of the movies right now. That's Hollywood. You cannot escape. You're like, I went to the movies to get away from this. No, you can't get away. You can't get away. You're going to pay to listen to it. You're going to pay to be henpecked. Here it is. With extreme real-world ties within the story about female spies. That rhymes. Hold on. To send a message with extreme real-world ties within the story about female spies. Believe Wahmen. Believe Wahmen. There's a song right in there. I'm surprised that Justin Timberlake hasn't picked up on it yet for the soundtrack. Letting female rage express its... Letting female rage express itself was one of the most important aspects of the new installment of the Charlie's Angels franchise. Banks, who directed, wrote, and co-stars, tells Colluder, along with a small group of journalists, probably none of them are white males. You know, Brie Larson cleared the deck of white male journalists. At this point, we've only got lesbian women of color in wheelchairs, I think, is what Brie Larson set up. That's kind of what she's got. So, small group of journalists that Elizabeth Banks is going to hector and harass. She says, one of the ingredients of this movie was supporting and believing women, she says. We literally have a character who is essentially working at a big corporation. When you say essentially working, what you mean is not working. What you mean is spending all her time in HR trying to gain control, gain a foothold, and emotionally blackmail the entire corporation. Essentially working means not working at all. It means trying to take over. Again, this is the story that we heard about Oni Comics, Oni Press, and Lion Forge, and that purple-haired weirdo. I just made a video about it 3 or 4 days ago. You can go watch that. All they want to do is get in there and do zero work, negative work, cause trouble. These weirdo SJWs, these far left-wing feminists, just want to cause trouble. That's the entire... If you're making a gadget or a widget, they're not going to make your widgety gadget. They don't care about that. They care about driving you nuts. So she is not being believed or listened to by her bosses. Shut up and get back to work. All right, so Charlie's Angels, starring Kristen Stewart, Ella Balinska, and Naomi Scott, and also Elizabeth Banks sitting here. They look like the Spice Girls at Disney World, except not having a good time. It looks like they just went to Galaxy's Edge and said, this kind of sucked. What was this build-up for? And plus, there's nobody else here. Like, Galaxy's Edge, it's empty, and everyone stole everything and sold it on eBay. These are valid concerns, valid complaints, and I think that's the message that Elizabeth Banks probably should have sent with this film. Don't go to Galaxy's Edge. All right, so it's the new iteration of Badass Female Spies. It centers on Scott's character, Elena, when she's just a normal civilian, as she hires the Townsend agency to help uncover a sinister plot she discovered within a large tech company. And that sinister plot, bunch of guys known as the patriarchy sitting around and tapping their fingers together as they say, how can we not believe women today? How can we not believe women? We gotta expose this plot. It's very important. Her journey towards becoming an angel herself is the story of the new movie. It's set in the same world as the original 70s TV series. You mean Planet Earth? 2000 movie, 2003 sequel. My wife said, didn't they just get done with this? No, so fresh are the scars of the 2003 Charlie's Angels reboot, the sequel. So fresh are those scars that I had to remind my wife, look, it's been 16 years. You know, it's been an entire generation since the last horrible Charlie's Angels movie with a bunch of Hollywood starlets prancing about, you know, girl power, this and that. Horrible, horrible movie. It's been a long time, but it seems like only yesterday, and that's the point. One of the statements this movie makes is that you should probably believe women. Or what? Oh, machine guns. Women with machine guns. We have as much validity in what we're feeling. What we're feeling. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think Ben Shapiro said that once or twice or 80 times. And how we want to go about living in the world, being in the world, and that was really important to me. Let me parse this. We have as much validity, okay, in what we're feeling and how we want to go about living in the world and being in the world. And that was really important to me. We want to live in the world a certain way and be in the world. And it's valid. No argument there. So far, so good. We felt like we had characters that were being taken seriously and given a chance to hashtag live their best life. No, live their hashtag, no, live in my best life. That's the hashtag. That's cool. So we're just totally, we're talking in Twitter hashtags now. Hey, listen, I've done the same. It's Comicsgate all day long. All right, so below is an interview with Elizabeth Banks that I would rather die than read. In the meantime, let's check in on Johnny Depp, somebody else who might have a different idea about the validity of what women are feeling and whether or not you should always believe them. Johnny Depp's lawsuit against Amber Heard sets a trial date. Legal drama between Aquaman star Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp, the great Johnny Depp. One of my favorite actors. I loved him in Ed Wood. If you haven't seen Ed Wood from 1994, I must recommend it. It's in black and white, but it's modern at the same time. They're just trying to make it look like the 1950s. It's a great movie. It's worth your time. It's called Ed Wood. All right, so earlier this year, Depp filed a $50 million defamation suit against Heard over her allegations of domestic abuse against him, and a trial date has been set for that case. That sounds like the perfect response to you should probably believe women. I think the answer that Johnny Depp wants to impart is no, and Meet the Beard will be in touch. I think that's, I don't know if he hired Ty Beard or not, but maybe he did. We'll be in touch. You want to talk garbage? We're gonna take you to court. Not necessarily believing women. Sometimes you're going to need evidence, and sometimes these allegations have a victim who is saying what the F. Not everybody is equally grounded in the way they want to live in the world and be in the world. Okay, some people are out to make trouble. All right, so they're looking for a place to fight the case. Virginia or California. I would recommend Virginia, even though it's a toss-up, honestly. According to the judge in the case has already set the trial date as February 3rd, 2020, with 12 days set aside in the court calendar for the proceedings. However, Heard's attorney have filed motions to dismiss, arguing that the case belongs not in Virginia but in California. Again, that's when you know the person that you are suing is probably guilty. They're, worried about where it's going to be held and how liberal the judges are likely to be and in which state. If she was truly innocent, if she truly had a point, if she truly had evidence, she wouldn't worry about which state was more likely to believe women. She would just present the facts, which don't care about your feelings, according to Ben Shapiro. It's a motion that the judge stated he would have a decision on soon after hearing arguments for both sides, and the judge going on vacation, it's unclear what soon means. All right, so as for why there's a fight over the case that should be tried, Depp's attorneys have argued that because Amber Heard, his ex-wife, wrote an op-ed that appeared in the Washington Post, and the Post is printed in Virginia. That's where the case belongs. As some may recall, Heard wrote the piece for the Post in 2018 in which she shared her alleged domestic abuse. She went to the newspapers and told people that Johnny Depp, world-renowned, beloved movie star, a movie star loved by children because of his Pirates of the Caribbean movies that to me are tremendously boring, but some people really like them, and he's a good character actor therein. She went to the newspapers and said this guy smacks women around. That requires a response, I would say. While the editorial never mentioned Depp by name, given the very public disputes between Depp and Heard in recent years, it made it somewhat obvious to readers that Heard was describing her ex-husband. Depp's attorneys explained in court documents that the validity of the piece depends on the central premise that Ms. Heard was a domestic abuse victim and that Mr. Depp perpetrated domestic violence against her. Depp, for his part, claims that not only are Heard's allegations false, but he also claims that she is the one who abused him. Now, this also sounds a lot like the Chris Hardwick case, the guy who hosts Talking Dead on AMC, when his girlfriend or fiance made the same allegations about him, and he was able to produce receipts in the form of telephone answering machine messages, not answering machine, voicemail messages, showing my age, that proved that she was a psychopath and a liar, and Johnny Depp, it appears, wants to do the same thing here. He's saying, she's throwing bottles at me. I never did anything to her. This psycho woman throws bottles at me, all right? So she's perpetrating domestic violence against Johnny Depp, who's a little guy. I mean, he's not a big guy. He's an artiste of an actor. He doesn't deserve to have bottles thrown at him. I don't think. Let me think if there's a reason to throw a bottle at Johnny Depp. I can't think of a reason right now. I like most of his movies. I like them in Sleepy Hollow. I like most of the movies Johnny Depp does. All right, so citing an incident in which Heard reportedly threw a glass bottle at him and injured his hand. The lawsuit also claims that Heard's allegations are a part of an elaborate hoax, a hoax that he claims has caused negative repercussions for his career. And that's the whole thing. This is the glass ceiling that we must break through right now. This believing women facade that allows women to lie as they're abusing men and wreak havoc upon their careers. Johnny Depp isn't going to take it anymore. For her part, Heard and her attorneys have argued that the case should not have been filed in Virginia. This sounds like tap dancing to me. Oh, no, we need it someplace where we need to be heard in front of a judge that is completely deluded by SJW propaganda and this believe all women narrative, so that maybe I can get away with having to pay for what I've done to my ex-husband, Johnny Depp, one of the most beloved actors that the world has ever seen. One of the most beloved actors of our generation has been slimed and smeared by this woman. Why? Why do we have to believe her? Johnny Depp says she's throwing bottles at him all the time and hurt his hand. It's important. It's important that we be, it's important that we be skeptical, I think, of allegations like this, especially when Johnny Depp, again, is a little guy. He's a little guy, and Amber Heard towers over him. The vast majority of these occasions took place in Los Angeles, where Mr. Depp would alternate between sober and inebriated states. No wonder. You would drink too if you had women throwing bottles at you all day long. You have to escape. You have to escape this nonsense. So what do I think of Heard and Johnny Depp's ongoing legal issues? I'm not sure. I'm not sure of how I feel about it. On the one hand, if I went to see Charlie's Angels, I guess the message that this woman would be giving me is, let's hold the case in California, okay? Cases in California, after all, California. But I'm not quite sure. I do tend to feel like justice should have its day in court. I think this kind of thing should actually be heard before a judge. And maybe Johnny Depp will get the justice that he so rightfully deserves for being slandered and beaten and abused. There's nothing more humiliating than being beaten up by your gigantic wife. There's nothing more humiliating than that. Poor Johnny Depp. And by the way, there are photos. Johnny Depp actually released photographs. Hold on. Here it is here. Oh my God, no. This is one of the world's greatest actors, and he's being beaten in the face with bottles. This is awful. This is awful. It's awful to see. How humiliating to have to take a photograph of yourself wounded. Wounded not only in the skull, in the face here, in the cheekbone, but also in your heart. Also in your heart. Godspeed, Johnny Depp. One of the greatest actors, again, that the world has seen, at least in this generation. And I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. I don't know. I guess I'm getting mixed signals from Hollywood, mixed messages. I don't really know what I'm going to be telling my children over dinner tonight. Am I going to be just saying, believe women. You should just believe women because they have a place on this planet that is valid. Or do I tell them, believe women, but duck. Believe women, but duck. Thanks. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist. But it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.